Well, in this module, I not only want to explain how the request travels through the application, though that is extremely important, I also want to show how to adjust the server-side code. Right now in the app.js file in the routes folder, we get this get route. This uses the express router, as you can see, and on this router we can define routes by using the HTTP methods as names for the methods we execute here, like get in this case. Then we specify the path which we want to handle, so just slash here, so slash message would not get handled by this route, for example. And then all middlewares set up in Express.js, and a route is just some kind of middleware applied to a request, have this callback, which includes the request which was sent, the response which is being built by Express.js, and this next function it is actually, which we can execute to tell the request to travel on. It's not getting called here, we could call it like this, but we don't want a request to continue its journey. Here we're sending a response, so we're done. We don't want to continue because then we would get back to the app.js file in the root folder and reach this code here and send another response, which is never good. You see the execution of the next method here, for example, on my own middleware, where I do want to continue because all I do here is set some header. I don't send a response, so I do want to forward the request. I want to continue with it. I only wanted to adjust the response, but not send it yet. That's a different thing with res render here. Well, with that, let's simply set up another route here, shall we? To see how something is able to change. I'll name it /message. And I will create a new view for this in the views folder. I'll name it Node.js, since we're showcasing some Node.js features. And I'll name it a Node.js view. And I want to output a message here. Now, we're using a templating engine, as I said, which means we can not only write HTML code in this file, but also this template syntax of the language we're using to output some data. I'm using Handlebars as a templating engine, and I'm not going to dive super deep into that here, because that's not really what this course is about. But generally, we output data with Handlebars by using double curly braces, and then between the curly braces, we may output any JavaScript variable which was passed to this view. So right now, we're not passing anything, we're not even rendering the view, so let's change this here. Let's change the res_render method to render node, referring to this Node.js file here. The extension is added automatically. And then we can pass a second argument here, which is a JavaScript object. Here we set up key value pairs, where we can use the keys later on in the view to access the value. So let's pass a message here. Let's say hello. Hello is a string. And then in Node.js, I can output message, and message here, of course, refers to this message key. With that, we need to restart the server, cancel it with Control-C, and then run npm start again, since we changed some server-side code. And if I now reload here, we still see hello world because I changed that back. But if we go to message, we see a Node.js view, and then here, hello, our message. The bootstrap styling is gone as a side note because in Node.js we don't import any styling. But you see, this is how we can render a different view with Node.js only. Now we won't do this throughout this course, but I want you to understand how we can set up multiple routes and what this render function here actually does.